You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
I do not have a vagina. And he does not have a penis. We don't have genitals.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I have all the genitals.
All right, and we're back. We are back for a new week of new Oscar movies and reviews.
Yes, we are. Welcome to Moviesucktastic.
Oh, hi there.
My name is Scott. That one's Joey.
Yeah, that's me.
And we're doing Oscar movies this
Yeah.
year, month, day, week, everything. Sorry, go ahead. You take over.
No, I would rather not.
All right. So, yeah, we're doing Oscars, and this week we are reviewing two new ones. We're linking them together based on the fact that they're both kind of biopics in some way, but also they both have to do with bad love. And we're starting off first with Past Lives.
Yes, Past Lives, which apparently this movie's been in production for a while, since 2020. They've been trying to make this movie, or the script was being written and whatnot. It's a long time.
I would guarantee a lot of it has to do with COVID. I mean...
Oh, for sure.
That kind of stuff. I mean, pardon me. But it's a Korean film by Celine Song. I'm not familiar with her earlier stuff. Now, Joey, remember the little film called Drive My Car?
How could I forget?
That you and I disagreed on fairly strongly?
Yeah, we did.
Well, I'm gonna make up for that by agreeing with you on this one ahead of time. I'm pretty sure you didn't like this. And this is a first for me. This is the first Oscar-nominated Korean film that we've reviewed on Moviesucktastic that I actually don't care for.
Well, I will say this.
At all.
While I didn't hate this movie. I didn't hate it like Drive My Car.
No, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it.
Yeah, no, I thought... What I ended up doing was I thought about it more after I watched it, and when I was done watching it, my general reaction to it was, That was my general reaction to the film. But after thinking about it more a little bit later, my general reaction to it was, meh. It became
so it's like improvement.
Slightly. Like I understood what they were trying to do. I understood the childhood friendship and growing up and thinking what my life could have been. I'm with this other person, and while I do love them, I can't help but think what my life could be with this person, since we've been connected since childhood, even though they had a 12-year. They had a 12-year. They were estranged for 12 years, which I mean, I get, but they went and lived their own lives, and then they find each other, and I don't know. It just, I'm not into all the not drama per se, but it's like, dude, fucking do something, or don't. And they decided to not to.
It is very Hallmarky, I have to say.
Yeah, better production values.
Yeah, and like I said, as far as I know, the film is semi-autobiographical, so it's based on an experience in her life. It's not necessarily something that happened to her. And so obviously this is one of these films where the filmmaker is really working things out on the screen and so we're seeing it from her perspective, and it's
Right.
from a female perspective, and it's from a female Korean perspective, and it's also a female Korean immigrant who moved here as a child, so like an expatriate, so to speak, or whatever you call it. But so there, she's the artist involved in making this movie is coming from a lot of very different areas that you and I have no experience in, and probably not that much interest in.
Yes, on both counts.
Yeah, so we're not the audience for this film, so we have to apologize up front and say we're middle-aged white men. This film was not written for us.
Well, yes, this is very true. Do I recognize that it's a well-made and well-acted and, for the most part, well-written? Yes, absolutely. When we score this near the end of the review, I think we'll probably come to an agreement on the score, and I don't think it's going to be as bad as everyone is thinking.
But let's. I mean, it is well crafted, but I still have some nitpicky issues with the film.
Of course.
Just a basic run through would be these three characters. I don't get the names right. They're all. I'm just saying the woman and her husband. Like she.
I believe their names are Renee, Troy, and Bob.
Renee,
no, that's wrong.
Nora.
It was a joke. Renee, Troy, and Bob. Come on. Yeah, it's funny.
Names to begin with, and this film just thrown.
I'm currently working on a brand new website for us, and I've started with episode 1, putting it into a database of sorts, and I'm looking at our title descriptions, what we reviewed, movies, and it just. I'm never amazed. I'm never not amazed, I should say. Like, we've been doing this a long fucking time. And, when I say I'm never not amazed, when I say I'm never not amazed, we've been doing this a long fucking time, and I just did that joke, and you're like, yeah, well, was that the name? Yeah, no, oh, that was a joke. I missed it. We're still doing that stuff.
Well, we are just starting to get organized.
This is, and I'm going to throw up a little. This is our 15th year.
Wow.
This is our 15th year.
Well, let's not dwell on it. We got Oscars to review.
I know.
Oh man. All right. So yeah. So let me not. I'll be a little less ignorant now. Nora, Arthur, and Hae. So Nora and Hae Sung, they grew up in South Korea together, and at the age of 12, right?
Yeah, it's like 12.
All the number, like the number 12, is like a repeating number throughout the film. So I'm just a little. I want to make sure. I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter that much. But
no, I know.
They're like
But
like 12 years old.
But in Asian culture, repeat numbers are good luck.
True. Fair enough.
So.
All right. So anyway, there are two kids that were close, and just as they're getting really close and maybe have that that kind of childhood love feelings for each other, Nora's family emigrates to America. So they're split up. They never speak to each other for 12 years until Nora finds out that Hae Sung has been asking around for her on her father's website because her father's a director or something.
Right.
So they meet online and start a long distance kind of relationship, as much as you can online. So it's not really like a love relationship, but they are growing close. But then they get frustrated about not being able to see each other and break it off. Then during that time, Nora goes to a writer's retreat and hooks up with Arthur, a writer, and they get married. So then 12 years past that point, when they get the breakup, roughly, Hae Sung reaches out again. He's like, "Oh, I'm just going to happen to be in New York. Do you want to get together?" And it slowly becomes apparent that there was no "I just happened to be." He's like, the sole purpose was him to come to there and meet her.
Right.
And it's all about her debating this whole concept of past lives. What was it called?
Inyun.
Which which is just based about interconnected throughout lives, and that's not really very unique to. It's unique to South Korean dramas. It comes up often in them, but personally, the concept's not really new to me. But I might be a bit more into alternate cultures on that level than some people are. So, if it's a new concept to you, enjoy it. It's great.
I was just waiting for Jet Li to come out and start, killing the other Jet Lis. Wouldn't that have been great?
It's not in you, it's in one. Damn it! Oh, I did.
Getting stronger.
Here's my big problem with the film.
Yeah.
Is that if you just really break it down, childhood friend with very little contact all of a sudden starts stalking me online. Did I say stalking? Yeah, stalking. And then ends up like saying, "Oh, let's meet up years later," and then starts talking about how they were fated to get together. 99% of the times, this story ends with at least a suicide, and at most a murder-suicide.
Somebody's going to jail too.
I'm saying this is not a story that typically ends up with a bittersweet, oh.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
This guy's been stalking you. You knew him when he was 12, and he's still talking about how like his whole life it belongs to you. He's the loner that all his friends keep kidding about. That's the one girl he always wants. This is a ticking time bomb waiting to go off. No fucking way. The end should have been him like stuffing her body in his bag as the Uber driver came up. There was plenty of time during that 1 minute sequence for him to just snuff the life out of her and fold her in half and put her in his suitcase.
I just went way dark, dude.
I don't. That I kept looking for that.
It's like Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. He's ended up on the side of a highway.
What sane person doesn't see that setup and not think that that's going to end poorly for that woman? I flew from South Korea to New York to see you because I feel like we're fated to be together forever. I mean, in this life or the next. Which one? Choose one. Choose one. What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. What do you think about that?
Honestly, I didn't think any of that.
All right, what did you think?
What did I think? Well, what was funny? What was funny when I told Mare, I said, "Listen, I have to watch 2 movies this week," and she asked me which ones, and I told her it was this film and Maestro, and she said, "Oh, I'll watch Past Lives with you." She said, "I'm not really interested in watching Maestro. You can watch that on your own." I'm like, "Great." So she watches the trailer, and she looks at me and she goes, what do you think? I go, "What do I think?" I go, "I think there's going to be a lot of panning shots. I think there's going to be a lot of strong, silent looks and stares in some way. And I think it's going to have a love triangle that is going to be resolved, but kind of not at some point or at the end." And at the end of the movie, I look at her and I just go, "I'm too good. Just too good." I'm sorry. Because I nailed all of it. But what did I think? I knew going in that nothing was going to happen between the two of these people. That there was going to be a lot of them silently staring at each other, thinking, what if?
A lot of that.
What if? In Yoon, like all of that stuff. I knew going into this, or just Mare watched the trailer and I caught a little glimpse of it, and by glimpsing that little bit of the trailer, and I'm like, oh, this is what we're in for. It's also an A24 film. A24 is very picky about what they produce. You will rarely see from A24 a film that isn't kind of like this or has this style of filmmaking. That is just what A24 does. And they're smart, too, because they've had a few films get nominated for Best Picture. They're just that kind of company. So, that's kind of what I thought.
But how do you feel
I didn't think anyone was stuffing anyone in a bag and chopping them up. I never came to that conclusion.
What's your opinion about this whole love triangle set up and like how it took place. I'm very curious. For you and I are both married men, for example.
Honestly, if that was because at one point the husband he kind of leans over to what was his name? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Oh, Hey Sung.
Hey Sung. He leans over to him. He goes, Soon. Okay. I said, I never would have thought I'd be in a situation like this. And for all that it's worth, he's one calm motherfucker. Now, I'm not saying he needs to go fly off the rails, but he seems way too understanding for this.
Well,
I mean, maybe he's known her for the last 12 years. Maybe he trusts her. But at one point, she says that she loves him, and he goes, sometimes I don't believe that you do. But not in like a malicious way. Like, there's something there where he's just like, I can tell that he loves her more than she loves him. It's that kind of relationship between the two of them. But she does, and she has feelings for this other person, but she knows that she's married, and that he even says, he goes, it's not like you're going to run off with him. As soon as he said that, I'm like, of course she's not. That's not this kind of movie. Yeah, it's just not that kind of movie. But being as a husband, I think I would have a very hard time with this scenario, especially if at the end of the movie that happened to me. I'd be like, what the fuck? What are we doing here right now? I probably would be considered insensitive. It's like, you don't understand my feelings. I'm like, really? We're doing this? This is what we're doing. Okay, let's do this. Like, I think I would not handle it as well as he did. I just don't think I would have at all. Did that answer your question?
Okay. No, it does. I was curious. Yeah. I mean,
what about you?
I personally have a problem with the whole triangle thing because, and this isn't. I'm not knocking the artist or the film, but being written from a woman's viewpoint and being written specifically about the woman's experience, it's kind of hard not to notice how the female in this love triangle really is flawless and blameless for anything going on.
Yeah, no, I never thought of that. I didn't really. I don't want to say I never thought. I didn't really think of that. But you're right. Now that you mention it, yeah, it's
and I feel it makes me feel. I mean, when she takes him out sightseeing, because when I seek out a South Korean romance, I want to make sure I get a nice, good sightseeing tour of New York City. Oh my God.
Well.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
Like when they're sightseeing, like they're sitting in front of the carousel and just staring at each other, and there's no talking and stuff. I get it. There's a lot of contemplation about the past and everything, and not a lot of talking, which there's sparse talking, but there's a lot of moments of silence. Where was I going with that?
We're talking about the love triangle.
Yeah, I just like all it basically is she's got two guys. One guy that's with her and is afraid of losing her, and the other guy that never had her that wants her.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's wanted her. He's wanted to be in her life from the very beginning that they met. So.
Yeah, but he's way too creepy, stalkerish, awkward for me to be taken as a serious. There's nostalgia there, nothing more. And then the husband. I'm sorry. So there's that whole sequence where he's whining about how there's like a part of you I can't reach because you dream in a different language. It's like, dude, she understands English. This is not a communication barrier. Suck it up. And what? So if she was American born, then you know what was inside of her. How for me with him it was. Even though his like this like simpering need to be assured that she's not going to go for somebody else. It in general, it doesn't necessarily have to be because of the culture. It's just men in general who don't understand women and feel like they're supposed to somehow know, or even people in general. How are you supposed to know the next person? I don't care how long you've been together. You know everything about them. You can. There's always a hole you can't get into. It's called their minds. Everybody thinks people are so easy to read. So all his problems, I feel like, are an extension from that. But the writer uses the point to like cultural differences. Oh, we've come from different cultures, and I can't understand just because. And I just, and it feels weak using this whole immune thing as a kind of like say, oh yeah, everybody has this problem with love, but our culture, it goes beyond. And it's like, okay. But a lot of cultures go beyond. This isn't new, and it all just seems to be an excuse for her to make up her mind what she's going to do.
Right.
And coming from the man point of view, so I'll take the digs on that. I'm not trying to demonize it, but I never had any real sympathy for the father. I definitely didn't have any sympathy for the stalker, and and it was like the biggest problem. I was like, what's Nora's big dilemma? What's the huge dilemma? There is none. The odds of just going off on a whim and going to this guy you don't even really know. Let's be fair. You don't even really know.
Well, no, and they
started building a life with.
But they set that up 12 years later when they start Skyping.
Yeah, but again, even then, it's a long distance relationship only, and I'm kind of led to believe they don't do any sexing stuff, right?
That they definitely don't lead you to believe that. But to be that heartbroken when she says, listen, I can't be looking at flights to Korea. What are we doing here? And then she says, I think we should take a break. And then they don't talk for 12 years.
Yeah.
You kind of think that something might have happened. I don't know. But
regardless, long distance relationships are really hard, especially again, we were talking about a long distance relationship that starts from when they were 12 years old, and then there's that gap of 12 years.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't really change much from the age of 12 to
36.
No. Yeah.
I would imagine it's
30.
They're 36, 35, 36.
Yeah, 12, 20s, 30. There's no big change in personality there. No, nothing. They're definitely the same person. I just find it ludicrous. And at least ludicrous to the extent that the film makes it, where it's so dark and heavy. It's like, oh, this person. The last time you had physically felt this guy was even in years, even including the Skyping relationship. There's it's just she spent far more time with this guy. I feel, overall, quality time,
yes.
Adult quality time, understanding time. This is all just contemplation and fantasy, which is great, but it just turning it into a real, tangible love triangle is just very thin. I just didn't like it, and then when it all builds up at the end with that stare off.
Oh right.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm gonna have to time this. I know it. All right, we're gonna do this. And I was like, all right, we know she's not gonna kiss him. We know they're not gonna kiss, but we're gonna keep doing this anyway, right? Yeah, but we don't know. Of course we know. No, I just it wasn't as bad as Lost in Translation, but it irked me nonetheless.
Right. Well, and for the most part, this wasn't nominated for Best International Feature.
No.
But I believe, is that because it's not Korean produced? Is it American produced? Because I'm having a hard time wondering why it got nominated for Best Picture but not international. I have a feeling that it's not produced in Korea.
Can I hazard a guess?
Yeah.
It's because there aren't 10 spots in Best Foreign Film category.
Well, that is true. That is true. I mean, because this, for the most part, is a completely... Well, here's the thing.
If
there is a certain amount of dialogue that's not in the native language, does it pull it out of contention. Because this does have.
I don't think so because it's not called best. I don't think so because it's not called best foreign film or foreign language film anymore, is it?
Oh, that's true. That's true because
it's called
the Banshees of
International Feature.
Wasn't the Banshees of Inisherin nominated for best international? And that was Ireland.
Yeah. No, they got rid of that whole foreign language thing a while ago. I honestly think now if I was going to be cynical like you,
okay,
I would say, hey, we've had South Korean films like in the Oscars the last 2 or 3, 4 years and like doing really well. We got to make sure we keep this showing. We got to support this industry. We got 10 slots. I don't know. If I was going to be cynical like you, I'd say something like I'd say because of the success of Parasite and others, that this was just like okay, let's just give this a boost up. But again, I'm not the audience for this film, so I can appreciate what it's supposed to be.
It's interesting that you said it that way, whereas I think the way I would say it is Parasite won Best Picture and Best Director, and they are now taking notice of more Korean films because of it, whereas before they might not have. And that's why it's nominated. Not hey, we need to keep this going. No, I wouldn't. That's not how I would have interpreted it. Sorry.
Did we swap brains because we're giving each other's arguments at this point? I don't understand.
Another movie swap film is coming out, or a body swap film is coming out.
With who?
They just had one around Christmas where the entire family body swapped, including the dog. one of the people swapped into the dog. It was with what's his face? Was it Ed Helms from The Hangover and The Office? Plus, what's his face? Ben.
Yeah, I haven't seen the trailer. That sounds interesting.
The girl that played Elektra, one of Ben Affleck's ex-wives.
Yeah.
And then I think there's another body swap movie coming out this year at some point.
Told you, 5-year cycles. Full disclosure to the audience, I wrote a body swap teen comedy screenplay.
You did.
Got this close to getting it actually produced, but unfortunately, the producer in charge, we were talking about rewrites and stuff, but he couldn't understand the way I had the body swap working, which was the way it works in like Quantum Leap. And I even had like the order of VHS copy. This is before everything was digital, and have it mailed to him to show him what the fuck I was talking about.
That's funny.
I do have a soft spot in my heart for body swap films, so I'll have to check it out.
Yeah,
we should do a reading of my screenplay. It's so out of date. I just read it like a month ago because I was thinking of like turning it into like I was like, maybe there's a trans message in here. I could rewrite it. And I'm reading through like, wow, this is just so out of date and is so like I grew up in the 80s.
You also did a soundtrack for it.
Yes, I did. Oh yeah. We should do. That's what we could do if we ever decided to go Patreon and stuff. We could do read-throughs of my screenplays, like productions. That's what I'm just gonna do. Productions of my screenplays. Fuck it.
Yeah. We'll be raking in the dough.
I got 6 complete ones that are just sitting on a shelf collecting dust. I'm not doing anything with them. Fuck it. I'll just do like radio plays.
You should make audio books out of them.
Yeah, right. And then it'll be then I have to write the book, and that's the one thing I'm too lazy to do too. I got halfway through converting the Four Horsemen into a novel.
Maybe not even write the book. Like actually read the screenplay. Like exterior shot.
That's why I said less of an audio book and more of like a radio play.
Yeah. I think that could sell. Why not?
And this shows you how interested we're in with past lives because now we're just talking about doing different projects. Anything more interesting than past lives. I'm sorry.
Well, I turned to Mare when we were done watching. She said, "What'd you think of it?" And I told her, I go, "It was all right." I go, "It was fine." And she was like, "I really liked it. I thought it was good." I was like, "Okay, good."
She's wrong.
What am I gonna do?
I did not like the opening. The long shot.
Oh,
slowly
yeah. That scene is actually on the slideshow right now, where you hear people talking about the three of them, saying,
What do
"Oh,
you think their story is?"
yeah." It's like, "Oh, I think that the girl and the other guy, they're probably married, and that's her brother, the other one, meaning the guy that's not Asian." And then they it's like, "No, I think this," and "No, I think that." It's just like, and then she addresses the camera, looks
She looks right at the
directly
camera.
into it as it slowly zooms in 24 years earlier, and then that's the next shot.
Yeah. I hate that opening.
I didn't hate it.
I know I hated it. Here's why.
I didn't hate it, but I didn't hate it, but when they did it, I'm like, they're doing that? Okay, fine.
Here's my problem with it. It should work without the voiceovers.
Oh, sure.
If the scene works, it works without the voiceovers. Don't put the audience saying what they're supposed to be thinking. That is so fucking lazy. I'm sorry. I don't care. It sucks. If it was just that and then pamming in, you instead of listening to what they're saying, you'd be thinking those things. But you're not, because now you're listening to what the other people are thinking, because now we have a different storyline going in here. Because, yes, two people talking off screen, if they're having a conversation,
Right.
That's a storyline now.
And I
muddled
bet,
it up.
you know what I bet? I bet they filmed it that way and didn't have dialogue, and they probably either test screened it or screened it for producers, and they said, we need some dialogue here. Why is this so silent? And the director probably caved in. Because if you film that scene, like what you're saying, and you're right, where she is addressing Soon.
You're supposed to be asking yourself these questions.
Yeah, if she's addressing Soon almost entirely, and her husband is off to the side, kind of either staring longingly or kind of dejected, you're going to reach that conclusion if that's done the right way.
Yeah, and again, it's just, and if it tested poorly, don't add the dialogue. Get rid of that fucking opening. You don't need it. Just start with a year, because even they're vague about like what year it is, but then like you'll be in a scene and you can see the year like somewhere, like what year it is. We do.
Yeah, no. It
So
when they were Skyping, it was, I believe, I saw somewhere that it was like 2011. So it would have made this film 2000, like present day when it was released, 2023.
Right. So then why the 12 years, 4 years, 12 years? I fucking don't need it. It's just it's extra baggage that makes it more confusing instead of just saying what year it is. I mean, we can do math. If it's because you're afraid people can't do math, because now I just weird decisions, I guess artistic decisions, I just don't care for. Sorry.
It's okay. I didn't mind them putting up 12 years later, 24 years ago. I didn't mind all of that. I didn't. I think it's a little I think it's a little nitpicky from you, but
it is. Well, we're talking the Oscars.
No, I know. I think it's nitpicky, but I don't. I wouldn't disagree with how you're handling it. I think it's okay that you could be nitpicky about it. I just think it's a little nitpicky. But that's me.
I definitely don't think it brings anything new to the table. It's stylish. It's well put together.
Yeah.
But I just...
It's a well-made movie.
It's definitely not on the top. If again, Best Pictures is 5 categories, this is definitely not making the running.
Fuck no. And as a matter of fact, I don't think it's nominated for anything but Best Picture.
No.
I don't think it is.
No.
Actually, you know what? No, hold on. It is nominated for 2 Oscars.
Oh, there's one other one. Yeah, I forget. Hold on. I'll look. You got it, or?
I got it. It's coming up now. So it's going to be Best Picture. If I had to guess, cinematography.
Just wait for your screen.
Maybe. Oh no, screenplay, original.
Oh, I should have known that. God damn it! I have it right here.
You should have.
Did it?
What's wrong
original screenplay.
What's wrong with you?
I even have it marked off as read or watched. I don't know what. Yes, it does have for best screenplay. I don't.
Well, here,
I don't know why.
let's take a look at the. Well,
screenplay.
I think we're just about ready to rate this. So let's take a look at the original screenplay, what it's up against.
And I just want to underline.
Yeah.
I just want to underline. before you do that, I just want to underline that there are 4 or 5 specific points in like the third act where I expected them to pull a gun out and start firing.
Stop it! I never
Specific lines.
never
Like the one
once
line-
thought that.
You brought up one of the lines. We're at the bar, and it was like, I forget what he said.
We said I never thought I'd be in a situation like this.
He's like, yeah, me neither. It's like, yep, that's where the gun comes out. That's where the gun comes out. Later on, it says, I didn't think it would be so hard. I didn't know liking him would hurt so much. And then it's like, yep, this is when the gun comes out. Come on, there's so many. Sorry, go ahead.
Original screenplay: Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Maestro, May December, and Past Lives. Yeah, I think this is probably the last film I think that would win.
This can't be the best.
This
can't be the best.
I would not be surprised if it went to Maestro, The Holdovers, or Anatomy of a Fall. Like, it's probably going to be one of those 3, if I had to guess. Now, I haven't seen May December, but I know what it's about, and I don't know. It's probably well written, but nah.
Another Hallmark movie.
Pretty much. So.
Not
like, for instance,
if that, but
yeah,
we're still watching them.
If May December was nominated for Best Picture, we would have put May December and Past Lives together. We would have categorized those two together. So, all right, we're at the 37-minute mark. So
way too much time for this snore fest.
Let's go ahead and rate this. This is currently a 7.9 on IMDb. And
what say you, sir?
I mean, listen, I think I couldn't go higher than a 7. I don't think I could go lower than a 7. I mean,
I'm okay with 7.
I mean, 6 seems a little low for the quality of this film.
I agree.
You know, but I couldn't give this thing an 8. I couldn't.
If I felt it had done something like interestingly unique with this whole love story concept, I would maybe think of an 8, but I just found it underwhelming with again, I just didn't everything was loaded in her favor. It was just like, oh, what are you going to do now? So that's not really that big of a conflict for me. I'm sorry.
I was appreciative it was under 2 hours. We'll put it that way.
Oh, definitely. Thank you for that. Yes.
So I think the longest film in the list is Oppenheimer. I think I think not everything, but I think most of everything is under 2.5 hours, which is nice surprise.
Yeah, a little
like
fewer epics.
Like, we're going to be reviewing Maestro next. Even that was only 2 hours, and I think it clocked in at 2 hours and 2 minutes before credits started rolling.
I mean, having Past Lives nominated might be a sign that we're kind of leaning towards more smaller films, and just so like 1 or 2 of the big budgets just to appease the gods, but everything else is like, all right, yeah, let's like when Miramax started, not Miramax. With like the clergy and all that. Yeah, Miramax. Yeah, they started cleaning house, like Crying Game and all the art house stuff.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, it's just like, I feel like that's taken a new turn. A2 is obviously part of that.
Oh, A24, yeah.
That I've heard it both ways.
There is no both ways. You just said it incorrectly.
It's still another way. But yeah, I'm sorry. I agree with 7.
My head hurts.
7 it is.
7, beautiful.
Yes. I'm
trying
to remember. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I really got caught up on the whole stalker thing. Really, you didn't find any of that unsettling, especially how he acts too. The whole thing is standing there rigid the entire time.
No.
Oh, no shades of creepiness there. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Thank God we're finally back to films. That I think the film industry has agreed as a whole. We can go back to saying that New York City's a shithole. There was not one shot of New York City that made you go, "Oh, I want to go there." No.
Well, you know why? You know why? Because it was probably cheaper to film in those sections.
Good.
You know, they're not going to the nice areas. It costs too much. This is a low budget movie.
If this was if this was Giuliani era, they would have them like doing opera house stuff. And
Yeah.
it
cost $12 million, and I read that it made 28, or 22. So financially, and that's just here domestically. I don't even know what it did internationally. I'm assuming it did really well in Korea. I can find out real quick. I bet it did.
What else are they gonna watch?
Well, dude. Oh no, the 23 million is with the international take. Made $11 million, almost $11 million here in the States. Made 12.7 million internationally. Did this not get released in Korea yet, or wow? How much did it make in Korea?
Korea counts as international, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's just numbers in there.
New Zealand. According to, this can't be right. According to Box Office Mojo, it hasn't been released in South Korea at all.
All right, maybe
it went straight to streaming. I don't know. I mean, internationally, it made the most money in the UK. Wow, and the Netherlands, second of all places.
No longer care.
Yeah, I stopped caring. No longer care. All right, let's end this. All right, everybody. Yes, thank you all for joining us for another episode. Go to our website at Moviesucktastic.com. A brand new website is being made. Like every day, I'm working on this thing. You know, the fun thing about it is we have over 400 episodes, which is also the bane of my existence, creating a website for that. It's like, holy fuck, I have to do just one thing 400 fucking times. And then I have to do another thing 400 times, and yet another 400 times. So it's great that we have that kind of library, but holy shit, when I'm done, I am never doing a website like this again. Everything going forward after this is, you know what? You're just going to get a line item. 400. Click this. Goodbye. You're going
to run out of music.
I am making it look pretty. What the fuck am I doing? I'm doing this all for you.
I know.
For free. Anyway. Go to iTunes and you can download. Well, actually, you can't download. I found that out recently. I've been probably saying that for 15 years. Download our show at iTunes. You can't download it at iTunes. You can just listen to it there. That's why I have it on our website that you can download it. Go to iTunes.
And there's plenty of other websites you can go to that have podcasts that you can download on as well.
That's right. Go to iTunes and listen to the show. You can go to Facebook.com/Moviesucktastic, and you can. Everything we post goes there just about. You can leave us voicemail at 908-514-4470. If you'd like to email us, the address is themovieguys@Moviesucktastic.com. And download your favorite podcast player or go to Moviesucktastic.com/mst.apk and download our app. Do you have any words of wisdom, Mr. Wilson?
Could it be in Yun?
Maybe. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.